boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I have in here is TT Isle of Man, Right on the Edge 2. So this game is developed by Kivatune, which are the developers of the WRC series and obviously the first TT Isle of Man 1. So I decided to take the test on my GeForce MX130, which I believe many people don't know it, but the MX130, it is the exact same graphic card as the GT940 MX. But keep in mind, this is the 2GB GDDR5 version. So if you have a GT940 MX with 2GB of GDDR5, you will have the same performance as you will see in here. So this game requires an i5 from the 2000 generation, 4GB of RAM, and the GTX 630. So looking to these requirements, I think the MX130 will surely handle the game. And so I decided to take the test with two different settings. All of these settings were benchmarked with 720p. So I decided to test with the low settings with post-processing on minimum, and I got an average of 50 frames per second with a 1% low of 42. But if you go with the regular low settings, what you get, it is an average of 44 frames per second with a 1% low of 38, which is the settings that I will be using throughout this video. Although if you decide to raise the bar to median settings, unfortunately you will start to get dips under 30 frames per second, and though I can't really recommend you to go with median settings, and I should suggest you to stick around with the low settings 720p. And this is the low settings. I think for the low settings this game looks pretty good in my opinion. Honestly, I noticed I'm wanting to struggle to accept that the 720p resolution might be not enough. You know, you can see a lot of pixelation in this game, but this is mostly because of the scenario, because there is a lot of grass and a lot of fine detail into these tracks, which makes the 720p to look a little bit more pixelated than the usual. Not to talk about the fact that I'm not using any anti-aliasing at all, but the fact that you have so much detail, so much trees and so much leaves, this really causes 720p to feel like it is not really enough. Alright, but that's the graphics. Now about the game. What is this game about? This game, it is about a simulation, and especially simulating this special track which is Isle of Man. This is a very tough track, honestly. It is very big, hard to predict where the corners are, and it is a very risky race which exists on real life, keep that in mind. And TT Isle of Man tries to focus mostly on this, alright? There are also other tracks which you can try, like for example in Ireland or United Kingdom, which they are fine, but it seems that most of the budget was spent for this special track. Obviously they will claim that they have like 16 or 17 tracks, but most of those tracks are just, you know, smaller sections of this same track or from the United Kingdom or Ireland. So this game lacks a little bit of content, and this is one of my major issues with this game. Apart from that, I really feel that the gameplay, it is awesome. It feels mostly authentic sometimes, especially if you play with a cockpit view. It is amazing. The sense of speed, it is so high that I just feel very scared to ride on the edge, you know, with the pedal to the metal. It feels really complicated with the cockpit view. I feel even afraid to accelerate throughout the maximum speeds during this track, because it is so realistic that I don't even know. It is really tough, and this is one of the good strong points of the game. It's the sense of speed, the sense of being afraid of pushing the bike, the fact that the bike easily you lose control of the bike very easily. Just like a bump on the road can make you crash out of nowhere just because you accelerated too far on that specific moment, or you just brake on. You know, there are a lot of simulation stuff going on with this game. They might not be perfect, but still, this is the most realistic game I have played it to date, and I really feel that it is good. But the lack of content, it is really disappointing in my opinion. The engine, it is good, the graphics are amazing, even for the low settings, so yeah, good stuff, right? But I think the bad really stuff about the game, it is really the price. These guys are charging on Steam for $49.99. This is a full price for a AAA title. I'm not saying that these guys don't deserve it. Possibly people that are more fans of this type of motorsport, I mean, will surely don't have any issue to pay this money, but I believe that for most of users, even people that are into simulation games, they might feel that $49.99 for this game with so much lack of content might be pushing a little bit too much. So my recommendation is to buy this game on sale. If you find this game for 25 bucks or even 20 bucks or something lower, go ahead if you enjoy this type of games, because clearly these deserve it, especially because of this specific track, which is huge. The gameplay, it is amazing, and I really suck at driving these. I had crashed more than 10 times on this game, but it is really amazing. It got me really addicted trying to finish up this track, which is amazing. So it is not all, I mean, this game, it is not all only this track. I mean, there are more tracks like I did told you, but still I really think this track, it is the major track ever. This is like Nuremberg from Germany. There are people buying project cars just because of Nuremberg, and this is pretty much the Nuremberg from, you know, for motorcycles, and that's the thing that I want to say. So guys, that's all. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay. A lot of crashes going on, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.